Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Happy Friday, everybody out there. Hope you're getting paid. It's your forte each and every day. Was humiliating Tino part of the producer's plan after Tino's dad threw the Bachelor franchise under the bus? It's an interesting theory. We're going to get into it. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. I'm also live right now as we talk on patreon.com/Dave Neal. Today, Friday, I just did an extensive look at my analytic report, including how much money my channel's making. Some people are interested in these things. Wednesday was the highest amount of money our channel, I say our collectively, channel made in 2022. It beat out March 17th, 16th, which was the Clayton finale. So the finale of Gabby and Rachel, more profitable as far as how many people are watching the show than Clayton's dumpster fire of an ending. The only thing that was more popular than that was Matt James, Rachel Kirkconnell and their ending, and Katie Thurston's 12 Days of Mess. So if you want to go and check any of that content out, it's on the Patreon, and I discuss it all over there. You might be inspired to create your own YouTube channel when you see all those YouTube dollars. All right, so anyway, we get into this story here, and it's quite fascinating, but it just doesn't end. The story never ends. Rachel's single, and people are already theorizing, is Rachel following Greg Grippo? Greg's also following Rachel. Before Rachel's season, Greg had said he would have been interested in Gabby or Rachel. Yesterday, they followed each other and started liking each other's photos. Oh, the beat just goes on, folks. We just don't end the story. It's never ending. So anyway, in this story, oh, by the way, Zach as the Bachelor has his new women revealed. So we have that story up as well. These types of videos don't necessarily perform as well because it's less drama. It's just like an introduction to the new cast. But they're some of my favorite videos to make. I play some runway music and I give you my first impressions visually of what we see. And it looks like Zach's going to have his options cut out for him. All right, so in this video, we're going to discuss how Tino's dad had thrown his opinions around about the show, and he's not wrong. He's not wrong. The show's a dumpster fire. The show's not about finding love. That's an accident that might happen after the show does what it does, which gets ratings. I talked about it earlier today, how corporations are literally psychopathic, right? They don't operate like a human would. They operate for the bottom dollar, money, advertising, views. That's all that matters to them. And because of that, you should not trust your son or daughter or best friend with the show's editing skills because they're not looking out for you. They're a corporation there to make money. So Tino's dad threw shade at them, and now people are wondering, hey, maybe they wanted to put Tino in line here, which would be very mob boss of them. So this is what Tino's dad said. This is Joe. His son Tino is on The Bachelorette. Joe knows you shouldn't marry someone you've only known for 2 months. He thinks the show is garbage and that his son only stands to get hurt. And also he corrected the show. The show tried to say that Tino was of Italian descent. And Joe, Tino's dad, said, we are Mexican, not Italian, though ABC keeps saying Italian. If he really is Italian, it's news to me. And then I'd be asking really tough questions. Okay. So then Joe said this. Our oldest son is on The Bachelorette and got the first impression roast, whatever that is. Never have seen the show, but watched the premiere Monday. Sam Rubin of KTLA 5 ripped everyone on the show to shreds, but he doesn't know a thing about Tino. Not sure how we feel about the idea of finding your soulmate on TV, and Sam's right. It's a bit cheesy, but nothing wrong with a little fun. It's not 60 Minutes. Let's hope Tino doesn't bring shame on the name, and above all, he may not be welcome back home if he cries on the show, but we love him anyway. Now, I was kind of rough on the dad because it's kind of toxic. Don't cry, man up. But the more you read the dad's post, he's just having fun with his little community. Don't bring shame on the name. So then Joe Franco says, Bachelor Nation will be sorry when they won't have me to kick around anymore, and so will Sam Rubin of KTLA Channel 5. Big Tony, you'll have to wait your turn. Watch The Bachelorette tonight at 8 for the yawn most shocking finale ever. So glad it's almost over. Hashtag Bachelor Nation. So this story gets crazier and crazier as Joe Franco actually goes on a podcast to share his thoughts about the show. We'll get to that in a second. Here's what Rachel had to say before the finale, explaining the Tino cheating allegations.
Our relationship, we were truly better than we were leaving Mexico when we were engaged. Shortly after that, there were a couple allegations online for another cast member about previous relationships. He started to kind of bring it up a lot, bringing up text messages leaking and things coming out. I really wanted to talk to him about what happened in previous relationships. Is there anything you need to tell me? And he told me no. And shortly after going home from that happy couple visit, he did call me, and I slowly worked out the details of.
Okay, so then we get to he admits to kissing someone. I don't know why. We don't know the whole story. We still don't. The comments on this post, though, are very similar to a lot of comments out there that are siding with Tino, which, Tino was wrong for cheating, but I think that the way it was handled, like Dear Shandy said, by making Tino this martyr because they brought Avon out when Tino was there and all of that kind of like just wild, overinflamed dramatic moments, all of that just... it was almost gratuitous in a way. So while Tino was in the wrong for cheating, they didn't, she asked him why he did what he did. He tried to explain himself, and then she was like, "You're exposing me," this and that. It was just ugly all around. Well, yesterday, Tino's dad, Joe, posts this: "Nobody's perfect. We make mistakes. We say wrong things. We do wrong things. We fall, we get up, we learn, we grow, we move on," which is a very nice way for a dad to support his son, because his son's getting absolutely just, it's got to be tough out there. If you're a parent, you want what's best for your kid. It must be so tough not responding to comments that exist out there. And people post, on his page, very, down the middle that, hey, yeah, amen, good for that. Totally agree. It's called being human. Cammie posted this on her page: "I find a certain irony in the way that Tino's parents denigrated the franchise and the way that Tino was treated on After the Final Rose by Jesse and the producers. Feels like a bit of payback by humiliating Tino on national TV. I hope he's able to heal and put this all behind him." Whether it's payback or whether the show just didn't care at all about Tino's mental health. And people say, well, what about Rachel's mental health? Well, I think the show pretty accurately edited itself in a way that showed Rachel how she felt with the pressures of being the Bachelorette. Again, I'm not saying that's good. I'm sure Rachel has a lot to process from it, but it's a tough place to be the center of the show, especially with an audience that's pretty wild out there. And in my feelings, I have complete empathy for Rachel going through this. It must be just devastating. But in this case, Tino was the one who was left high and dry after the final roast. He could have dug his own grave. People weren't going to like him after he cheated on Rachel. Let's play a few clips from here. We'll start at the 2:38 mark. This is Tino's dad, which we rarely get to hear from the parents. So I'm going to play a few clips of Tino's dad discussing what it was like to see his son on The Bachelorette, and also mentions that he was one of the ones that pushed him to doing it. Hey, you could travel new places, and he says he did not think his son would have gotten that far. Good faith by the father.
Having concern for my son.
By the way, the audio's terrible. It sounds like he's recording this while he's in the shower.
To give you a little backstory, we never thought he'd last this long on the show. I don't think anyone does. We thought it.
No.
I've never seen an episode and had not seen an episode when they came to the hometown, and we were told, hey, it's better that way. Just it'll be more natural. So we didn't have any expectations, but I did, way back when Tino was saying, hey, maybe I'll go on this show. They've approached me about it. I looked at, I went on Hulu and looked at the little episode descriptions, and I said, hey, Tino, look, they're going to Barcelona on a whirlwind trip. And I said, hey, you might, if you last a week or two, you might, we've traveled all over the world. I work for a cruise line, and so we've done a lot of traveling. So I was like, Tino, this could be really fun.
All right, so we have Tino's dad, Joe, worked for a cruise line, which Bruce, I believe, yesterday pointed out that, was this the same cruise line that Logan contracted COVID-19 on? Was it Tino who put in the call to his father to make sure that Virgin Cruise Lines was a dirty ship? Only the truth will be found on the deck. All right, big deck energy. Okay, here we go. Let's go to the 7-minute mark. So yeah, so it's Tina, I love it. Tino's dad's like, "Oh, you'll get some free travel." Well, you know what I learned in the old days of economics is that there is no such thing as a free lunch. Yeah, maybe you got to see Amsterdam, but you're also going to get to see the wrath of Bachelor Nation.
Lee and I discussed this just prior to us coming on. We were touching base about it. And she said, as a parent, if my daughter brought home a man or if I had a son that brought home a girl, we would have been asking the same exact questions. You're protecting your child.
Now, this is in response to the fact that Tino's parents asked very tough questions of Rachel, and Rachel was like, "They don't like me." And it's like, no, they just don't like all of this.
And what's this bubble they've been in?
Yeah. And it's funny because I'm not sure I totally understood how it works. So...
Now, I'm guessing that you didn't get to speak to him alone prior to them arriving with the cameras.
No, he just walked in the door.
Yeah.
It was,
Okay.
yeah, he walked in the door. We sat down and had a, brief chat. And then, I mean, it's what you saw on TV.
Yeah.
And then we were, each of us had like some one-on-one time. And we talked about him being the king of cheese and things like that, I mean, he and I really have a sports connection. So, his personal love life, he likes to talk to his mom about. But so,
as most boys do.
Yeah. So, we were laughing about the whole competition. And, it wasn't the thing is, the only thing that really, what was funny about it was it's like we didn't have a game plan going in at all. I think it just spontaneously came out to ask those questions, and it wasn't meant to be, what was interesting was when we watched it on TV, and I've only watched it once. I meant to watch, I was at football games yesterday and then a soccer game at night, so I didn't get a chance to rewatch that episode. But we just went in kind of like, but we just, yeah, like I said, we just asked the questions. It wasn't like Sandy and I had a game plan. All
right, so they're saying, hey, that's just how we are. We just ask the questions how we are. Last clip here from his podcast, which you can watch the whole thing, a honestly unfiltered interview with Tino's dad.
And like I said, he, if we want to talk about it, I got voted down to go to the after the rose. So they said, no, we don't need any distractions. And I was okay with it because it's not about me. It's about Tino. And he's got a, I guess, answer for, whatever he's done. And
so that was recorded before the After the Final Rose. So there you have it. Tino's dad was not even invited to the conversation, which is fine. Like you said, of course, I'm sure the conversation would be a little different if he watched the sort of raking that his son took on that episode. Let me know what you guys think. Wrong button. Let me know what you guys think. This is probably got one more video for you guys coming to you on a Friday. Go check out that other content. Watch the video right here of the introduction of the new women if you didn't catch that already for Zach's 2023 season of The Bachelor. And we'll be back shortly. I'm on Patreon if you want to donate. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. Bye, guys.